It was a morning like any other. Zola, a quiet but strong woman, kissed her 3 children goodbye and promised she'd be back from the market by noon. Nandi, just 16 at the time, waved her off, thinking nothing of it. But noon came and went, then the sun dipped below the horizon. And Zola never came back. 2 years passed. In the small South African village, whispers about Zola's disappearance were as constant as the wind. Some said she ran away to escape her debts. Others spoke of darker possibilities. But 18-year-old Nandi refused to believe her mother would abandon them without reason. She held on to hope, raising her siblings, Lutho and Bongi, while the questions haunted her every day. One afternoon, as Nandi fetched water from the village well, she overheard 2 women speaking in hushed tones. "They say Zola was seen in Durban," one said, "at the bus station." "If it's true," the other replied, "she must be running from something." The word struck Nandi like lightning. Durban. It was the first real clue she'd heard in 2 years, and she couldn't ignore it. That night, Nandi searched her mother's small room. It had remained untouched since Zola's disappearance. As she rummaged through drawers, she found a crumpled receipt. It was from a pawn shop in Durban, dated 2 days before Zola vanished. "What were you doing in Durban, Mama?" Nandi whispered, clutching the receipt tightly. For the first time, she felt like she had a lead. She knew what she had to do. Before dawn, Nandi packed a small bag. She placed the receipt in her pocket, along with the little money she had. She kissed her siblings goodbye and whispered a promise to return. Mama Thembi, their elderly neighbour, caught her as she slipped out. "You're leaving, child?" Thembi asked. "I have to find Mama," Nandi replied. Thembi sighed. "Durban is dangerous, especially for a young girl. Be careful, Nandi, and come back home." The bus to Durban was loud and crowded. Nandi sat by the window, watching the landscape shift from the rolling hills of her village to the bustling city streets. As the skyline came into view, her stomach churned with fear and determination. She had no idea what awaited her. Durban was overwhelming. The noise, the people, the towering buildings. It was all so different from the quiet village. Nandi found the pawn shop listed on the receipt. The shopkeeper, a sharp-eyed man, examined the receipt and nodded. "Yeah, I remember her," he said. "Zola, right? She left this behind." He handed Nandi a small locket. When she opened it, her heart skipped a beat. Inside was a photo of her mother and a man she didn't recognize. "Who's this?" Nandi asked. The shopkeeper shrugged. "I don't ask questions." She looked scared, though. Real scared. As Nandi left the pawn shop, she felt someone watching her. A man stepped out of the shadows, his expression cold and serious. "You shouldn't be asking about Zola," he said. "Why not?" Nandi demanded, clutching the locket tightly. "Because it's dangerous," the man replied. "Go back to your village before you get hurt." Nandi's blood ran cold, but she refused to turn back. At the market, Nandi showed the locket to anyone who would listen. A street vendor named Sifo claimed he recognized the man in the photo. "I've seen him near the harbour," Sifo said. "Come with me, I'll show you." Nandi hesitated. Something about Sifo felt off, but desperation pushed her forward. Sifo led Nandi through narrow streets to a dark alley. Her unease grew with every step. Suddenly, men emerged from the shadows, their faces hard and unfriendly. "Here she is," Sifo said, his voice trembling. "Now let me go." Nandi realized too late. It was a trap. She darted away as the men lunged for her, their shouts echoing behind her. Exhausted and shaken, Nandi found sanctuary in a quiet church. She collapsed into a pew, her body trembling with fear. A soft voice broke the silence. "Child, are you all right?" Nandi looked up to see Sister Namusa, a nun with kind eyes. She explained everything, her mother's disappearance, the locket, and the danger she'd faced. Sister Namusa listened carefully and offered her a place to rest. The next day, Sister Namusa examined the locket. "I know this man," she said. "He works at the docks. Be careful if you go there. He's connected to dangerous people." Nandi thanked her and headed toward the docks, her heart heavy with both hope and fear. At the docks, Nandi found the man from the locket. His name was Themba. When she confronted him, his expression darkened. "You're Zola's daughter," he said. "Where is she?" Nandi demanded. Themba hesitated. "She came to me for help. She owed money to dangerous people. I told her to leave town." Nandi's heart sank. Why would she run instead of coming to us? Themba avoided her gaze and handed her a scrap of paper with an address. "If you really want answers, go there," he said. The address led Nandi to a women's shelter near the train station. Inside, she finally saw her mother. "Mama," Nandi whispered. Zola froze. Her eyes filled with tears as she rushed to embrace her daughter.